So, as we continue through Mark chapter 4, Jesus begins telling us more about what the kingdom of God is like. And then he goes on to say that the kingdom of God is like a man who casts seed upon the soil. And at first, that sounds pretty familiar to the parable we had heard earlier, the parable of the soil, parable of the seed. But this one takes a little bit of a different turn. Listen to the very next part. It says, "And he goes to bed at night and gets up by day, and the seed sprouts and grows, how he himself does not know." So now we're talking about the actual work of the seed, not so much the location or the soil, but the work of the seed itself. And it's very interesting here that Jesus shows that the kingdom of God is not dependent upon human activity. Yes, we should evangelize. Yes, we should do missions. Yes, we should love our neighbor and tell others about Jesus. Those are all very important things that God uses. But God does not depend on that. He's not beholden to us. He does the work from beginning until the end. He just invites us to be part of it. If we didn't do it, it's not like we're holding God back or making him fail his cause or anything like that. No, God accomplishes what he wants to, and by his grace, invites us into the work with him. So because that's true, because it's true that just like this man here, he plants the seed, and what happens? He goes to bed, doesn't he? He doesn't do anything. He doesn't cut the seed open and pull the sprout out or anything like that. He simply scatters the seed, plants it, and then goes to bed. Had a friend one time to point out that very minute detail there about how he rested. He didn't worry and concern himself with having to do all the work or the work being upon his shoulders or anything like that. No, this man trusted in God and he rested in God. He rested in his work. It said he casts the seed upon the soil and he goes to bed at night. And then what happens when he gets up the next day? Well, guess what? The seed is sprouted and it begins to grow. Jesus says that's what the kingdom of God is like. He chooses to use us to spread the seed, to spread his word, spread the gospel. But it's not dependent upon us to do it. God bears that burden. God does the work. So if you have a family member who's never trusted in Jesus, don't stress yourself out and think that it's on your shoulders. Keep telling that person about Jesus. Keep sharing the gospel, but trust that it's in God's hands. If you're a pastor out there and you've been preaching for years and you're not seeing a whole lot of change, not seeing a whole lot of growth in your congregation or anything like that, be faithful to plant the seed. Be faithful to share the gospel. It's not on your shoulders to make anyone believe. You can't do that. That's God's work. So rest in him, plant the seed, trust in him, and know that he's going to do what he sets out to do. His word will not return unto him void. And that's something that you can rest in, the sovereignty of God, and that he is the one who does the work. Trust in him and rest well tonight.